Subscribe to our channel for gripping stories that uncover hidden truths and inspire resilience. Don't miss out. Join us now. The Hidden Trap. I sat in my workshop, the familiar hum of tools around me, but my heart was heavy. I'd forgotten to tell my son the security cameras were back online. The next morning, when I checked the footage, my world shattered. My son, Michael, and his wife, Lisa, were caught on tape, plotting a chilling scheme, stage an electrical shock and a fatal fall down the basement stairs to make my death look accidental. The boy I'd raised alone after his mother's passing was coldly calculating insurance payouts, as if my life was just a number. In that moment, I realized this wasn't just family betrayal. I was the next target of a dangerous predator. But they didn't know the man they planned to bury had set a trap they'd walk right into. Imagine your own son, sitting in your workshop, plotting your murder on camera. What's your next move? Comment below with your thoughts and share where you're watching from. The satisfaction of a job well done has always been my reward. That Thursday afternoon, I ran my calloused hands over the newly repaired security camera system, pride swelling from 40 years as an electrician. The October chill seeped through the windows, but inside my home, the house I built in 1995, everything felt secure. For 2 weeks, the cameras had been useless after a power surge fried the circuit. Today, after 3 hours of meticulous rewiring, every lens was sharp, every microphone crystal clear. At 65, my eyes needed glasses, but my hands could still outwork men half my age. This house was my legacy, every wire, every outlet, my creation. When Margaret died 8 years ago, I thought about selling, but the memories held me here. Besides, Michael needed a place to land when his life unraveled. What kind of father would I be if I didn't help my only son? Car doors slammed, pulling me from my thoughts. 5:30 sharp. Michael and Lisa were punctual for our weekly dinners. I wiped my hands and headed to the door, hearing Lisa's laugh from the driveway. That laugh used to charm me when Michael brought her home 3 years ago. Lately, it felt forced. "Dad," Michael said, his voice overly cheerful. "How's the old place holding up?" I hugged him, noticing how thin he'd gotten. "Can't complain. Been tinkering with some electrical work. You know I don't let things slide." Lisa stepped forward, her smile perfect but hollow. "Stephen, you work too hard. A man your age shouldn't be fixing things. That's what professionals are for. Professionals charge a week's pay for an afternoon's work," I said, leading them inside. "Besides, it keeps me sharp." Over dinner, I watched them closely. Maybe it was the electrician in me, trained to spot faulty circuits. Lisa kept nudging the conversation toward the house property values, insurance updates. Michael avoided my eyes, mumbling vague answers about his job search. "Any luck with those interviews?" I asked, slicing my pot roast. He shifted uncomfortably. "Market's tough, Dad, but I've got leads." Lisa jumped in, too smooth. "Stephen, you're so generous with that monthly allowance." $700 helps so much. Her tone made my skin crawl, like it was their right, not my choice. "Speaking of the house," she added, "have you thought about updating your security? Those old cameras probably aren't reliable." I was about to say, I just fixed the system when the phone rang. Mrs. Thompson, my neighbor, was frantic about a basement leak. Could I help? Her late husband used to handle these things. "Of course, Helen. I'll be right over." I turned to Michael and Lisa, who were already grabbing their coats. "Sorry, kids, duty calls." "No problem, Dad," Michael said, still avoiding my gaze. "We should head out anyway." As their car pulled away, a nagging feeling grew. Lisa's probing, Michael's unease something was wrong. I realized I'd forgotten to mention the cameras were back online. The call had derailed me. Tomorrow I'd tell them over coffee and test the system fully. After 40 years of troubleshooting, I knew the best way to catch problems was to watch when people thought no one was looking. Friday morning brought crisp, October air and a restless night's aftertaste. By 10, I was in my workshop, coffee in hand, ready to test the security system. The monitors flickered to life, showing every angle of the house in high definition. Audio so clear I could hear the fridge hum. 40 years of work had taught me to appreciate quality, and this system rivaled anything professionals charged thousands for. I was adjusting a camera when I heard a key in the front door. The timestamp read 10:15 a.m. through the living room camera. I watched Michael and Lisa slip inside, moving cautiously, checking corners like they were casing the place. They weren't supposed to be here. Michael had mentioned interviews. Lisa, errands. My finger hovered over the intercom, but their behavior stopped me cold. They thought the cameras were still down. They thought they were invisible. Perfect, Lisa said, her voice sharp through the audio. He's not here, and those cameras are still fried from the surge. Michael shifted nervously. Going through his papers feels wrong, Lisa. Her laugh was cold, nothing like the charm I once knew. Michael, we've been over this. Sunday morning, we stage an electrical accident in the basement. Your dad's always tinkering down there. Totally believable. My blood froze. Sunday morning. Electrical accident. They weren't here to steal. They were planning to kill me. The life insurance is $200,000, Lisa continued, rifling through my desk. Plus, the house is worth over $600,000. Enough to clear your gambling debts and start over. Michael paled. I know the money fixes everything, but it's my dad, Lisa, your dad, who's controlled your life for 32 years, she snapped. Henry Larson was harder to convince than you, and that worked perfectly. Henry Larson? Michael asked. Lisa's smile was chilling. An old man in Toledo with a nice house and a trusting heart. Death certificate said natural causes. No questions asked. Mary Johnson in Akron was even easier, fell down her stairs after signing over her property. The room spun. This wasn't greed. This was a pattern. Lisa was a predator, and I was her next mark. You never said they died, Michael whispered. What did you think happened? They moved to Florida? Her voice dripped contempt. Grow up, Michael. This is how it works. The week get consumed. Sunday morning, 8 a.m., Lisa went on, spreading papers on the coffee table like a battle plan. Electrical shock in the basement, fall down the stairs. We delay the 911 call until noon. We're grieving family with a profitable future. 2 days. I had 2 days before they'd try to kill me in my own home. Forgetting to mention the cameras was the luckiest mistake I'd ever made. Lisa had killed before, but she'd never targeted someone who could see her coming. The hunter was now the hunted, and she didn't even know it by 12:45 p.m. I was in the parking lot of Carter and Associates, my hands steady with purpose. The shock had faded. Action lay ahead. Laura Carter's office smelled of leather and resolve. She was younger than I expected, about 50, with sharp eyes. I'd called ahead, using emergency, and she'd cleared her afternoon. Mr. Brooks, you mentioned a murder plot. Tell me everything. I played the recordings. Lisa's voice filled the room. Sunday morning, 8 a.m. electrical shock in the basement. Fall down the stairs. Laura's face hardened. This isn't family greed, Mr. Brooks. This is professional elder abuse and homicide. She mentioned past victims, Henry Larson in Toledo, Mary Johnson in Akron. Both died after property transfers. She typed rapidly. I'm scheduling an emergency competency evaluation with Dr. Evans. If they try to claim you're unfit, we need proof you're not. Can you be there by 2:30? Absolutely. Dr. Evans' clinic was a short drive through neighborhoods that now felt alien. I was a man marked for death in 36 hours. The cognitive evaluation was thorough memory tests, problem-solving, current events. Dr. Evans, my doctor for a decade, was concerned but firm. Stephen, your cognitive function is sharper than men 20 years younger. She signed the documentation. This isn't paranoia. It's survival instinct. By 3:30, I was back with Laura, where her private investigator had news. Lisa Williams doesn't exist. Her real name is Jennifer Hayes, wanted for 2 suspicious deaths, Henry Larson in Toledo, Mary Johnson in Akron. Both cases are open. Laura leaned forward. Active warrants in Ohio for fraud and suspected homicide. Police can arrest her on site. The pieces clicked into place. Jennifer Hayes was a predator targeting the elderly, and Michael had handed me to her. What's our timeline? Laura asked. Sunday morning. 41 hours. More than enough, she said, reaching for her phone. I'm calling Detective John Harris, Elder Crimes Unit. With warrants and your evidence, we can have her in custody before she acts. I hesitated. What about Michael? Laura's expression softened. Conspiracy to murder carries heavy time, but if he testifies, there could be leniency. The recordings show she's the mastermind. By 4:30, the plan was set. Detective Harris would review the evidence tomorrow. The medical evaluation protected my competency. The warrants gave immediate arrest power. Mr. Brooks, Laura said as I left, you've done something incredible. Most victims never see it coming. You're stopping a killer. In my car, I felt the thrill of a plan coming together. Jennifer Hayes thought I was an easy mark. Tomorrow, she'd learn some prey fights back. The house felt different that evening. Same walls, same furniture, but every corner was now evidence. I moved through my routine, the cameras capturing everything. Michael and Lisa arrived at 6 for dinner, their smiles predictable. How was your day, Dad? Michael asked. Productive, I said, understating the century. Handled some business in town. Lisa's eyes sharpened. Anything interesting? Just old man Aaron's doctor paperwork. The lie was easy. Let them think I was clueless. During dinner, Lisa stepped out for a call. The audio picked up her voice from the kitchen. Vince, it's Jennifer. Sunday, 8 a.m. sharp. He suspects nothing. Have your cleanup crew ready by 10. Vince, another name to file away. She returned, her smile intact. Sorry, work call. After dinner, they sat in the living room while I washed dishes, their voices clear through the system. I can't keep doing this, Michael whispered. Looking him in the eye, knowing what we're planning. Michael, Lisa hissed, you owe $50,000 to people who break legs. Monday's the deadline. What happens if we don't follow through? $50,000 in gambling debts explained Michael's desperation. There has to be another way, he pleaded. There isn't, she snapped. Your dad dies, or you do. Choose. The brutality stunned me. My son reduced to this. Tell me about Vince, Michael said. Vincent Cole, Lisa replied. He handles documents, clean up witnesses. 20 years, 6 states, never caught. Witnesses. Neighbors who got curious, friends who asked questions. Vince handled them. Sunday, 8 a.m., Lisa continued. You're here early, checking on your dad. I'm making coffee. He goes to the basement workshop like always. Electrical accidental wiring, believable for a man his age. He falls down the stairs. We call 911 late. By noon, we're grieving family with a payout. I wash the same plate repeatedly as they plan my death like a business deal. Insurance clears in 30 days, Lisa added. House sale in 60. We're in another state with new identities before anyone asks questions. By 9 o'clock, they were gone, leaving me with the weight of their plan. I backed up every recording, creating an unbreakable chain of evidence. 34 hours until they expected me dead. But Vincent Cole and his crew we're about to meet a man who didn't go quietly. Saturday morning, I was up before dawn, coffee in hand, finalizing my checklist. The basement workshop, their chosen stage, needed more coverage. I installed 2 micro cameras, capturing every angle. The irony wasn't lost on me. They picked the one room where I held the advantage. By 8:30, backup systems were hidden throughout the house, with cloud storage ensuring evidence would survive. Detective Harris's office smelled of stale coffee and grit. He was a seasoned cop who knew elder abuse. "Mr. Brooks, this is the most sophisticated operation I've seen in 15 years. I played the recordings." His face darkened. "Jennifer Hayes," he said, pulling files. "Wanted to cross 3 states. Your evidence makes this airtight. The plan. Tactical teams around my property at 7 a.m. tomorrow. The moment Michael and Lisa arrived, they'd move." "What about Vincent Cole?" I asked. Harris grinned. "He's been on our radar for decades. If he shows for cleanup, we'll have him. Lavra had locked down my finances accounts frozen. Property transfers blocked, medical directives airtight. They can't touch anything," she said. "Your recordings, legally obtained on your property, are admissible and devastating." By noon, I was home, surrounded by humming cameras. Everything was ready: police, legal protections, medical proof, and evidence to bury Jennifer Hayes. I walked through my house, seeing the memories of the life I'd built, the son I'd raised. Tomorrow, that son would walk in, expecting to kill me. But he'd walk into a trap 40 years in the making. The phone rang. Detective Harris's voice was urgent. "Mr. Brooks, Cole's crew is in Cleveland. They're serious. So are we. Rest tonight. Tomorrow will be intense, but you've done everything right." In my workshop, surrounded by the tools that built my life, I knew Jennifer Hayes had miscalculated. She thought I was helpless. Tomorrow she'd see I had teeth. 20 hours to go. I was ready. Dinner that night felt like a last supper. I set the table for 3, knowing in 14 hours they expected me dead. They arrived at 6, Michael with flowers, Lisa with a thermos of coffee and fake concern. "Dad, you look tired," she said. "Feeling okay?" "Just fine," I replied, serving the pot roast. Looking forward to a quiet Sunday. During dinner, Lisa slid a manila folder across. "Stephen, we've been thinking about your insurance. These forms just need a signature to update beneficiaries." I glanced at the papers, likely a trap to drain my savings. "What's the rush? Can it wait until Monday?" "The agent mentioned rate changes," she said, her smile tight. "Just a formality." Michael stared at his plate, hands trembling. "You know, Lisa," I said, "I've been forgetful lately. Yesterday, I forgot to mention something important." Her eyes sharpened. "What's that?" "It'll come back to me," I said, taking a bite. After dinner, they moved to the living room. The audio caught everything. "He seemed confused," Lisa whispered. "Did you see him with those forms?" "Maybe we don't need to do this," Michael said. "If he's declining naturally, we could wait." "Michael," she snapped, "your creditors want $50,000 Monday, or they break bones. We stick to the plan. 8 a.m. tomorrow. You're here early. I'm making coffee." He goes to the basement. "Electrical accident, old wiring." He falls. We call 911 late. I wash dishes, listening as they choreographed my death. "What about afterward?" Michael asked. "Vince arrives at 10, makes it perfect. We're grieving family, collect the insurance, sell the house. By Christmas, we're in Florida with new identities." At 8:45, Lisa stepped outside for a call. "Vince, it's Jennifer. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. basement workshop. Bring the electrical gear for the scene. Clean up by 10. She returned, kissing my cheek. "Get some rest, Stephen. Big day tomorrow." "Memorable," I agreed. After they left, I checked every camera, every backup. 11 hours until Detective Harris's team was in position. 13 until Michael and Lisa walked into my trap. I poured a rare whiskey and sat in my chair. Tomorrow, justice or death. Tonight, I was Stephen Brooks, ready for war at 7 a.m. I waited in the living room as their key turned in the lock. Michael entered with flowers, Lisa with coffee, her mask perfect. "Dad, you're up early," Michael said, voice strained. "Thought I'd check on you," he added, not finishing the thought before you killed me at 8 o'clock. I stayed calm. "Before you what?" Silence. The flowers slipped from Michael's hands, scattering like evidence. Lisa recovered, her smile forced. "Stephen, are you confused today?" "Not at all." I picked up my tablet. "Let me show you how clear I am." The first recording played. Sunday, 8 a.m. electrical shock in the basement. Fall down the stairs. Michael's face drained. Lisa's mask cracked. "You've been recording us," she whispered. 3 days. Every word, every plan. I scrolled through files. Henry Larson, Mary Johnson. Your real name, Jennifer Hayes. Warrants in 3 states. "Impossible," she snarled. "Those cameras were broken. Fixed them Thursday. Forgot to mention it. Luckiest mistake of my life." I stood, stronger than I'd felt in years. "You thought I was helpless, Jennifer." Michael collapsed into a chair. "Dad, I'm sorry. The gambling debts, the threats. 50,000, I said. That's what my life was worth. It wasn't supposed to be like this," he sobbed. "She said it'd look natural." "Natural?" I played another clip, Jennifer describing her past kills. "She's murdered before, Michael. You weren't helping with fraud. You were helping a killer." Jennifer's composure shattered. "You don't get it. Old fools hoarding wealth while we struggle. So you sped up their deaths," I said. "Profitable." Her confession was perfect, caught in high definition. "Tell me about Vincent Cole," I pressed. Her eyes betrayed her. "Your cleanup guy, coordinating my murder." Michael looked up. "Murder?" "You said accident. It would have been," she snapped, "if your dad wasn't a surveillance freak." As if on cue, the door burst open. Detective Harris stormed in with his team, weapons drawn. Cleveland police. "Nobody move." Laura Carter followed, briefcase in hand. "Jennifer Hayes, you're under arrest for conspiracy to murder, elder fraud, and warrants for the deaths of Henry Larson and Mary Johnson." Handcuffs clicked as her empire crumbled. "How long have you known?" Michael asked as they cuffed him. "Since Friday," I said. "When I heard you planned my death, you chose money over me." As they led him away, sadness hit, not satisfaction. I'd raised him, loved him, but the man arrested wasn't my son anymore. Detective Harris approached. "It's over, Mr. Brooks. We've arrested 6 of Cole's network across Ohio. This is done." I looked around my living room, where they'd planned my murder, where I'd built my trap. "What now?" "Now you live," he said. "And Jennifer Hayes never kills again." 6 months later, I sat in the courthouse as Jennifer Hayes got 25 years to life for murder, elder abuse, and conspiracy. The judge's words echoed. "Your predation on vulnerable seniors is the worst of human nature." She glanced at me, her eyes cold, unrepentant. Some people can't be saved. Michael's sentencing was tougher. 12 years for conspiracy and elder abuse. His eyes held the boy I'd raised, not the man who'd betrayed me. The judge spoke of family betrayal deserving harsh accountability. Vincent Cole got multiple life terms, his network linked to over 30 victims. My recordings were the key to dismantling it. The courtroom wasn't the end. Change started with Mrs. Thompson, whose call had saved me. I installed a security system in her home and taught her to spot elder fraud. "You've given me control again," she said, clutching our safety checklist. Word spread. I consulted across Cleveland, hardening homes, auditing finances, speaking at community meetings. Detective Harris called me a hero who showed seniors how to fight back. The Ohio Attorney General used my story for a statewide campaign. Age is wisdom, not weakness. Dr. Evans, now a friend, said, "You turned trauma into purpose." That's triumph. Laura and I led workshops, teaching seniors to protect their assets. My basement workshop became a training center for security and self-defense. Neighbors formed a support network, checking on each other, sharing tips. The sting of Michael's betrayal lingered, but fueled my mission. I shared the hard truth. Sometimes, danger comes from those we trust most. Letters poured in from across the country, families inspired to question suspicious behavior. One man in Florida thanked me for empowering him to confront a thieving grandson. Each letter proved Jennifer Hayes' wrong seniors weren't obstacles. They were warriors. 6 months ago, I was marked for death. Now, my home was a fortress, my calendar full of speaking engagements and coffee dates with friends who valued me. The greatest victory wasn't surviving. It was finding my true family in my community, ready to embrace my experience. My story shows that betrayal can reveal strength, and wisdom honed over decades can outsmart any predator. Share your thoughts below. What stories of resilience or betrayal have shaped you? Where are you watching from?